The Grand Palace is a complex of buildings at the heart of Bangkok, Thailand. The palace has been the official residence of the Kings of Siam since 1782. The king, his court and his royal government were based on the grounds of the palace until 1925. The present monarch, King Bhumibol Adulyadej, currently resides at Chitralada Palace, but the Grand Palace is still used for official events. Several royal ceremonies and state functions are held within the walls of the palace every year. The palace is one of the most popular tourist attractions in Thailand. Construction of the palace began on May 6, 1782, at the order of King Buddha Yodfa Chulaloke, the founder of the Chakri Dynasty, when he moved the capital city from Thonburi to Bangkok. Throughout successive reigns, many new buildings and structures were added, especially during the reign of King Chulalongkorn. By 1925, the king, the royal family and the government were no longer permanently settled at the palace, and had moved to other residences. After the abolition of absolute monarchy in 1932, all government agencies completely moved out of the palace. In shape, the palace complex is roughly rectangular and has a combined area of 218,400 square meters, surrounded by 4 walls. It is situated on the banks of the Chao Phraya River at the heart of the Ratanakosin Island, today in the Phranaken district. The Grand Palace is bordered by Sanam Luang and Nafralan Road to the north, Maharaj Road to the west, Sanam Kai Road to the east and Tai Wang Road to the south. Rather than being a single structure, the Grand Palace is made up of numerous buildings, halls, pavilions set around open lawns, gardens and courtyards. Its asymmetry and eclectic styles are due to its organic development, with additions and rebuilding being made by successive reigning kings over 200 years of history. It is divided into several quarters: the Temple of the Emerald Buddha, the outer court, with many public buildings, the middle court, including the Maha Munthian buildings, the Maha Prasat buildings and the Chakri Maha Prasat buildings, the inner court and the Sawai Gardens quarter. The Grand Palace is currently partially open to the public as a museum, but it remains a working palace, with several royal offices still situated inside. History: the construction of the Grand Palace began on May 6, 1782, at the order of King Buddha Yodfa Chulaloke. Having seized the crown from King Taksin of Thonburi, King Rama I was intent on building a capital city for his new Chakri dynasty. He decided to move the seat of power from the city of Thonburi, on the west side of the Chao Phraya River, to the east side at Bangkok. The new capital city was turned into an artificial island when canals were dug along the east side. The island was given the name Ratanakosin. The previous royal residence was the Dome Palace, constructed for King Taksin in 1768. The new palace was built on a rectangular piece of land on the very west side of the island, between Wat Pho to the south, Wat Mahat to the north and with the Chao Phraya River along the west. This location was previously occupied by a Chinese community, whom King Rama I had ordered to relocate to an area south and outside of the city walls. The area is known today as Yana Warat. Desperate for materials and short on funds, the palace was initially built entirely out of wood, its various structures surrounded by a simple log palisade. On June 10, 1782, the king ceremonially crossed the river from Thonburi to take permanent residence in the new palace. 3 days later on June 13, the king held an abbreviated coronation ceremony, thus becoming the first monarch of the new Ratanakosin kingdom. Over the next few years the king began replacing wooden structures with masonry, rebuilding the walls, forts, gates, throne halls and royal residences. This rebuilding included the royal chapel, which would come to house the Emerald Buddha. To find more material for these constructions, King Rama I ordered his men to go upstream to the old capital city of Ayutthaya, which was destroyed in 1767 during a war between Burma and Siam. They were tasked with the dismantling and removal of as many bricks as they could find, while not removing any from the temples. They began by taking materials from the forts and walls of the city. By the end they had completely leveled the old royal palaces. The bricks were ferried down the Chao Phraya by barges, where they were eventually incorporated into the walls of Bangkok and the Grand Palace itself. Most of the initial construction of the Grand Palace during the reign of King Rama I was carried out by conscripted or Korva copyright-e labor. After the final completion of the ceremonial halls of the palace, the king held a full traditional coronation ceremony in 1785. The layout of the Grand Palace followed that of the Royal Palace at Ayutthaya in location, organization, and in the divisions of separate courts, walls, gates and forts. Both palaces featured a proximity to the river. The location of a pavilion serving as a landing stage for barge processions also corresponded with that of the Old Palace. To the north of the Grand Palace there is a large field, the Thung Femen, which is used as an open space for royal ceremonies and as a parade ground. There was also a similar field in Ayutthaya, which was used for the same purpose. The road running north leads to the front palace, the residence of the second King of Siam. The Grand Palace is divided into 4 main courts, separated by numerous walls and gates: the outer court, the middle court, the inner court and the Temple of the Emerald Buddha. Each of these courts' functions and access are clearly defined by laws and traditions. The outer court is situated on the northwestern part of the Grand Palace. Within are the royal offices and state ministries. To the northeast is the Temple of the Emerald Buddha, the royal chapel and home of the Emerald Buddha. The middle court housed the most important state apartments and ceremonial throne halls of the king. The inner court, situated at the most southern end of the complex, was reserved only for females, as it housed the king's harem. During the reign of King Buddha Yodfa, the total area of the Grand Palace was expanded southwards up to the walls of Wat Pho. Previously this area was home to offices of various palace officials. This expansion increased the area of the palace from 213,674 square meters to 218,400 square meters. New walls, forts and gates were constructed to accommodate the enlarged compound. Since this expansion, the palace has remained within its walls with new construction and changes being made only on the inside. In accordance with tradition, the palace was initially referred to only as the Pharacha Wangluang or Royal Palace, similar to the Old Palace in Ayutthaya. However, during the reign of King Mongkut the name for Baroma Maharaja Wang or Grand Palace was first used in official documents. This change of name was made during the elevation of Prince Shutamani to the title of Second King Pinklay in 1851. The proclamation of his title described the royal palace as the Supreme and Great Palace. This title was given in order to distinguish the palace from the Second King's Palace, which was described as the Phrabovorn Racha Wang or the Glorious Palace. Throughout the period of absolute monarchy, from 1782 to 1932, the Grand Palace was both the country's administrative and religious center. As the main residence of the monarch, the palace was also the seat of government, with thousands of inhabitants including guardsmen, servants, concubines, princesses, ministers and courtiers. The palace's high whitewashed castellated walls and extensive forts and guard posts mirrored those of the walls of Bangkok itself, and thus the Grand Palace was envisioned as a city within a city. For this reason a special set of palace laws were created to govern the inhabitants and to establish hierarchy and order. By the 1920s a series of new palaces were constructed elsewhere for the king's use. These included the more modern Dusit Palace, constructed in 1903, and Phrathai Palace in 1909. These other Bangkok residences began to replace the Grand Palace as the primary place of residence of the monarch and his court. By 1925 this gradual move out of the palace was complete. The growth and centralization of the Siamese state also meant that the various government ministries have grown in size and were finally moved out of the Grand Palace to their own premises. Despite this the Grand Palace remained the official and ceremonial place of residence as well as the stage set for elaborate ancient ceremonies of the monarchy. The end of the absolute monarchy came in 1932, when a revolution overthrew the ancient system of government and replaced it with a constitutional monarchy. Today the Grand Palace is still a center of ceremony and of the monarchy, and serves as a museum and tourist attraction as well. Outer Court. The outer court or Kafaraja Chan now of the Grand Palace is situated to the northwest of the palace. Entering through the main Visit Chawsari Gate, The Temple of the Emerald Buddha is located to the left, with many public buildings located to the right. These buildings include the headquarters and information center of the Grand Palace, the Bureau of the Royal Household and the office of His Majesty's Principal Private Secretary. Other important buildings inside the court include the Sala Saat House Samorkam, used for important receptions and meetings. The Sala Luk Khamnai is an office building housing various departments of the royal household. The main office of the Royal Institute of Thailand was also formerly located here. The outer court has a small museum called the Pavilion of Regalia, royal decorations and coins. The Phamankor Gate opens directly onto the Chakri Maha Prasat throne hall and is the main portal from the outer court into the middle court. Historically this court was referred to as Kang Na, and also served as the seat of the royal government, with various ministerial offices, a theatre, stables for the king's elephants, barracks for the royal guards, the royal mint and an arsenal. By 1925, all government agencies and workers had vacated the site and all of the buildings were converted for use by the royal household. Temple of the Emerald Buddha. The Temple of the Emerald Buddha or Wat Phra Kaew is a royal chapel situated within the walls of the palace. Incorrectly referred to as a Buddhist temple, it is in fact a chapel. It has all the features of a temple except for living quarters for monks. Built in 1783, the temple was constructed in accordance with ancient tradition dating back to Wat Mat Hat, a royal chapel within the grounds of the royal palace at Sukhothai, and Wat Phra Sri Sanpachadayachthaya. The famed Emerald Buddha is kept within the grounds of the temple. The temple is surrounded on four sides by a series of walled cloisters, with 7 different gates. Like those ancient royal temples of Sukhothai and Ayutthaya, the Wat Phra Kaew complex is separated from the living quarters of the kings. Within these walls are buildings and structures for diverse purposes and of differing styles, reflecting the changing architecture during the various reigns of the kings. Despite this, most of the buildings within adhere strictly to classical Thai architecture. The establishment of the Temple of the Emerald Buddha dates to the very founding of the Grand Palace in Bangkok itself. Middle Court. The largest and most important court is the Middle Court or the Khafra Rajathan Cham Klang is situated in the central part of the Grand Palace, where the most important residential and state buildings are located. The court is considered the main part of the Grand Palace and is fronted by the Amornwithy Road, which cuts right across from east to west. The court is further divided into 3 groups of throne halls and 1 Sawai Garden quarter. From Maha group equals. The Maha group of buildings are located roughly at the center of the middle court, therefore at the very heart of the Grand Palace itself. The traditional Thai-style building group is enclosed by a low wall, as this was once the residential and sleeping abode of kings. Thus it is considered the most important set of throne halls in the entire Grand Palace. All of the buildings within the Maha face north and are arranged from front to back, with a public reception hall being at the front, ceremonial halls in the middle and residential halls at the back, all of them interconnected to each other. All royal coronations since that of King Rama II have taken place within the walls of this building group. Construction began in 1785 at the order of King Rama I. The original buildings only included the Chakrafat Phiman Throne Hall and the Phazon Thaksin Throne Hall. Later King Rama II carried out major constructions including the Amaran Winichau Throne Hall and other extensions. Later in his reign he added the Sanam Chan Pavilion and the Narai Chinese Pavilion. King Nangklai renamed the buildings from Chakrafat Phiman to Maha. He carried out major renovations and spent most of his reign residing in these buildings. King Rama IV later added 2 archways at the north and west side of the walls called the Thava Feeble and Thevatriksa Gate respectively. King Vajiravad added 2 portico extensions to eastern and western sides of the Amaran Winichau Hall. Since then most buildings in its original plan remain, with occasional renovations being made before important anniversaries such as the Bangkok bicentennial celebrations in 1982. Except for the Amaran Winichau Throne Hall, the rest of the complex is closed to the public. The Thava Feeble Gate is the central entrance to the hall, however the central doorway is reserved exclusively for use by the king, others must enter through the 2 other doors on either side. The gate is guarded by Chinese-style statues, including mythical warriors and lions. The gate is topped by 3 Thai-style spires covered in Chinese ceramics. Phrathinang Namarin Winichao. The Phrathinang Namarin Winichao Mahasaraya Femen. In brief, the Phrathinang Namarin Winichao is the northernmost and forward building of the Maha buildings. It is also perhaps the most important. The throne hall was constructed in Thai style as a royal audience chamber, for receiving foreign ambassadors and for conducting important state businesses and ceremonies. The large throne hall stands on a 50 cm high base, the roof is covered in green and orange tiles. The pediment is decorated with a mural depicting the Hindu god Indra. The main central door is reserved for use by royalty, while others must enter through the adjacent side doors. Within the hall there are 2 rows of square columns, 5 on the left and 6 on the right, adorned with Thai floral designs. The coffered ceiling is decorated with glass mosaic stars. At the back of the hall is the Busabak Mala Maha Chakrafat Femen throne, flanked by 2 gilded 7-tiered umbrellas. The throne is shaped like a boat with a spired pavilion in the middle. This elevated pavilion represents Mount Meru, the center of Buddhist and Hindu cosmology. The throne is decorated with colored enamels and stones as well as Deva and Garuda figures. The throne was once used for giving royal audiences. In the front of throne sits another, called the Phatan Kanchana Singot throne. The throne is topped by the massive royal 9-tiered umbrella, an important symbol of Thai kingship. The different tiers represents the king's power and prestige, which extends in 8 directions, the 4 cardinal directions and the 4 sub-cardinal directions. The final and 9th tier represents the central direction descending into the earth. These giant umbrellas usually deposited above important royal thrones, and out of the 7 of which are currently in Bangkok, 6 of these umbrellas are situated within the vicinity of the Grand Palace and another is situated above the throne within the Anantasamorkham throne hall of the Dusit Palace. The throne is made up of multi-layered squared platforms with a seat in the middle. The throne is used for the first royal audience of each king's reign and for annual birthday celebrations and other royal receptions. It was from this throne that King Rama II received John Crawfurd in 1821. Crawfurd was sent to Bangkok by the Governor-General of India Lord Hastings to negotiate a trade treaty. Phrathinang Phaysan Thaksin. Directly behind is the Phrathinang Phaysan Thaksin. The rectangular-shaped hall is a ceremonial functions hall, where the most important religious and state ceremonies are held. It is the main venue where royal coronations are performed at the beginning of each king's reign. The last coronation ceremony held here was on May 5, 1950 for King Rama IX. Formerly the hall was a private reception hall and living space of King Rama where he often hosted meetings and dinners for his closest ministers and other trusted courtiers here. After his death the hall was converted into a ceremonial space. The long rectangular hall is decorated in rich murals depicting scenes from Buddhist and Hindu mythology. The hall houses 2 thrones. The 8th Itutuman Raja on throne or the octagonal throne is situated to the eastern part of the hall. This unusually shaped wooden throne is in the form of an octagonal prism and is decorated with golden lacquer, topped by a white 7-tiered umbrella. It is used during the first part of the coronation ceremony where the king is anointed with holy water, just prior to the crowning ceremony. All Chakri kings have gone through this ancient ritual. Across the hall to the western side is the Fatharabit throne. The throne is a chair with a footstool with 2 high tables to its sides. The throne is topped by another royal 9-tiered umbrella. This throne is used during the main part of the coronation ceremony, where the king is presented with the various objects, which make up the royal regalia and royal utensils of Thailand. The king will crown himself, then be ceremonially presented with the objects of the regalia, each reminding him of his duties and responsibilities as king. The regalia are presented to the king by royal Brahmins. These include, the Great Crown of Victory, the Sword of Victory, the Royal Staff, the Royal Flysk, the Royal Fan and the Royal Slippers. Apart from being the setting of these important ceremonies, the hall houses the Frasiam Thavathiraj figure. This figure was created during the reign of King Rama IV to symbolize and embody the kingdom, its well-being and safety. It exists as the personification of the nation to be used as a palladium for worship. The golden figure depicts a standing deity, dressed in royal regalia, wearing a crown and holding a sword in its right hand. The figure is about 8 inches tall, and is housed in a Chinese-style cabinet in the middle of the Fazen Hall facing south. There are also other figures of the same scale depicting other Hindu gods and goddesses. A figure was once worshipped almost daily. Today, however, religious ceremonies are only held to worship the figure during times of great crisis. Frothy Femen. The Frothy Femen is situated behind the Fazen throne hall and is at the very center of the Maha buildings. The hall was built during the reign of King Rama I as the primary apartment and sleeping quarter of the monarch, and is the innermost part of the Grand Palace. The residential hall was formed out of 3 identical rectangular buildings, all interconnected to each other. The middle section of the residential hall is a reception room, while the other 2 sections, to the east and west, are divided into the personal apartments of the king. The east section is the primary bedchamber of the monarch. The hall is divided into 2 rooms by a golden screen. The northern room contains a canopied bed originally belonging to King Rama I. Above this bed hangs a royal 9-tiered umbrella. The southern room contains the dressing and privy chamber, above which hangs another 9-tiered umbrella. The west section was used as a multi-purpose hall for minor ceremonies and audiences. However, in the reign of King Rama III the hall was converted into a bedroom. After his death it became the storage place for the various weapons and accoutrements of the monarch. The royal regalia of Thailand is kept here. When the Chakri Femen Hall was first built it was entirely roofed with palm leaves. Later these were replaced with ceramic tiles, then with glazed tiles during the reign of King Rama V. There is a tradition that no uncrowned kings are allowed to sleep within this hall. However, once they were crowned they were required to sleep there, if only for a few nights, literally on the bed of their forefathers. In 1910, prior to his coronation, King Rama VI had a well-concealed modern toilet installed near the bed chamber. The king spent many nights here near the end of his life and died here in 1925. King Prajadhipuk and King Rama IX only spent a few nights here after their respective coronations in accordance with tradition. Between the Chakri Femen and Fazen halls is a small front reception hall, where the king could receive courtiers while sitting on a small platform. There are 2 doors on either side of the platform leading into the royal apartments behind. To the rear and south of the Chakri Femen Hall is the back reception hall. This rear hall is flanked by 2 residential halls. These are reserved for members of the royal family and royal consorts from the inner court. They are called Thipsathan Philat Hall and the Thipasana Philai Hall. Frothinang Dusit. Apart from these grand state buildings, there are also several minor structures and pavilions surrounding the Maha structures. These include 4 smaller halls at the sides of the Amaran Winichau throne hall. Beside the wall to the northwest is the Frothinang Dusit. Built on a raised platform, the 1-storied hall was used as a robing chamber for the king when arriving and departing the palace either by palanquin or by elephant. Hence the elephant mounting platform to the west and a palanquin mounting platform to the north. At first the structure was an open pavilion. The walls covered with rich murals were added later by King Rama III. The entrance is situated to the east and is lined with steps leading from the Amaran Winichau throne hall. The hall is the only structure within the Grand Palace with exterior decorations. The golden lacquer and blue glass mosaic depicts angels carrying a sword. Frothinang Rajayudi. To the southeast is the Frothinang Rajayudi, a Thai-style pavilion constructed during the reign of King Rama VI as an outdoor audience chamber. The pavilion was constructed for use especially during the birthday celebrations of the king. Originally King Rama IV had a 2-storied European-style building constructed. Its purpose was to display gifts from foreign nations. However, when this building became dilapidated, King Rama V replaced it with a Chinese-style pavilion which was again dismantled and rebuilt. The present pavilion measures 12 by 7.80 meters. The pediments are decorated with the gilded figures of Narayana on a Garuda against a white mosaic background. Frothinang Sanam Chan. The southwest structure is the Phrathinang Sanam Chan. Built during the reign of King Rama II, the pavilion is a traditional Thai pavilion with a raised platform inside. King Rama II used the pavilion for relaxation and for sitting when supervising construction projects. Measuring only 3.30 by 4.50 meters, the pavilion was portable and could be moved to different sites. The wooden pediments are decorated with gilded carvings and glass mosaic in a floral design with Chinese and Western influences. The 8 columns are inlaid with glass mosaic. The inner platform is decorated with black lacquer and glass mosaic. The top of the platform is made out of a single panel of teak measuring 1.50 by 2 meters. The pavilion was strengthened and given a marble base by King Rama IX in 1963. Ho Sastrakam, to the northeast is the Ho Sastrakam or the Ho Phra Parrot. The hall is the same size as the Dusit Avaram Hall and the two appear to have been constructed concurrently. In accordance with ancient tradition, the hall was built for the use of the Mon monks to create holy water, which was then sprinkled around the palace ground every evening. This practice was discontinued during the reign of King Rama VII for financial reasons. Currently the ritual is only practiced during Buddhist holy days by Mon monks from Vajrayana. The hall is divided into 2 rooms. The northern room is a prayer and ritual room for monks, including closets built into the walls for religious texts. The southern room is a storage room for Buddha images and religious artifacts. During times of war, the potency of weapons was enhanced by the holy water in a special ceremony. The weapons and special amulets were then distributed to soldiers before battle. As a result of this function, the windows and doors of the hall are decorated with depictions of ancient weapons. Ho Chulaloke Femen and Ho Phra Montheon. On each side of the Phaysan Thaksin throne hall is a Buddha image hall. On the east side is the Ho Chulaloke Femen, which then connects to the Dusit's Ada Gate. The Ho Chulaloke Femen is a small Thai-style building which is attached to the Phaysan Thaksin throne hall through a short corridor. The hall houses important and valuable Buddha images and figures, including one representing each and every reign of the Chakri Dynasty. Some relics of the Buddha are also reportedly kept here. The Ho Phra Montheon is located to the west side of the Phaysan Thaksin hall and is also connected by a corridor in symmetry to the Chulaloke Femen on the other side. The Phra Montheon hall contains several small gilded pagodas containing the ashes of royal ancestors. Originally named Ho Phra Chau, the name was changed by King Rama II, who installed several valuable and ancient Buddha images in 1812. King Rama III and King Rama IV also have their own Buddha images installed here and carried out extensive renovations to the interior and exterior. Phrathinang Chakri Maha Prasat Group equals. The Phrathinang Chakri Maha Prasat buildings are composed of 9 major and minor halls, structured in a similar scheme to the Maha Montheon halls from north to south, however the 2 building groups contrasts greatly in styles. This group of palaces is situated at the center, between the Maha Montheon and Maha Prasat groups. The whole of the Chakri Maha Prasat group was the work of King Rama V and foreign architects in the 19th century. During the reign of King Rama I the area was once an expansive garden, later named Suan Sai or Left Garden, the twin of Suan Khwa or Right Garden, now the Sawai Gardens. The 2 gardens were named according to their location on the left and the right of the Maha Montheon buildings. During the reign of King Rama III a new residential pavilion called Phratamnik Tuk was constructed for his mother, Princess Mother Sri Sulalai. The new residence was composed of several low-lying buildings and pavilions. King Rama IV expanded the residence and gave it to his consort Queen Debjirindra. Within these buildings King Rama V was born and lived as a child. When King Rama V ascended the throne in 1868, he decided to build a new group of grander throne halls to replace the old structures. The first phase of construction began in 1868, then again in 1876, and the final phase between 1882 and 1887. King Rama V resided in the palace until 1910 when he gradually moved to the new Dusit Palace, to the north of the Grand Palace. King Rama VI occasionally stayed in the palace. However, he preferred his other residences in the country. By the reign of King Rama VII the buildings were in dire need of renovations, but due to economic constraints only the Chakri Maha Prasat throne hall was renovated. This work was carried out by Prince Sankritakara, an architectural graduate of the École des Beaux-Arts in Paris. Many of his works can still be seen today. During the present reign, many of the buildings once more became so dilapidated that they needed to be demolished altogether. In their stead new halls were constructed in 2004 to replace them. Formerly the site hosted 11 different residential halls and pavilions. In 2012 only 3 are left, the Chakri Maha Prasat Throne Hall, the Moon Sathan Boramad Hall and the Samuthi Thevaraj Upabat Hall. Behind these structures lie the Grand Boram Ratchastik Mahan Hall, which has been recently rebuilt. None of the rooms are open to the public, as state functions are still carried out within. The changing of the guards occurs at the front courtyard every 2 hours. Phrathinang Chakri Maha Prasat. The Phrathinang Chakri Maha Prasat is situated on the northernmost part of the Phrathinang Chakri group. The throne hall forms the front or the four-section aid of the entire building group. In front of the throne hall is the Rathakit field. On either side of the throne hall are the from Sapphire gates. The throne hall is constructed in an eclectic style, a blend of Thai and European styles. The lower part of the structure is European, while the upper part is in Thai-styled green and orange tiled roofs and gilded spires or prasats. After a trip to Singapore and Java, in the East Indies in 1875, King Rama V brought back with him 2 Englishmen, the architect John Clunick and his helper Henry C. Rose to design and construct the Chakri Maha Prasat Throne Hall. Construction began on 7 May 1876. At first the king wanted an entirely European structure with domes. However, at the insistence of Chow Phrai Si Sarai Wongs, his chief minister, the king decided to add the gilded spires and Thai roofs. In 1878 the king personally supervised the raising of the final central spire of the building. The throne hall was completed in 1882, on the centenary of the House of Chakri and the Grand Palace. Thus the new throne hall was given the name Phrathinang Chakri, meaning literally the seat of the Chakris. The throne was constructed as part of a building group in a rotated H-shaped plan, with 2 parallel buildings running on an east-to-west axis. In between is an intersecting hall, with an axis running north to south. The northerly end of the structure is the Chakri Maha Prasat Throne Hall. All other buildings are hidden behind it. The throne hall consists of 3 stories, with 3 7-tiered prasats on each of the 3 major pavilions along the axis. The central pavilion with its portico and roof extensions is taller and larger than the other 2 on the sides. Owing to a mix of Thai and European styles, the exterior decoration is a mixture of orders and does not follow strict classical lines. The Thai roofs are decorated with the same green and orange titles as the other throne halls, in order for the new building to blend in harmoniously to the existing skyline. The external pediments and gates of the throne hall are decorated with the emblem of the Chakri Dynasty, an intertwined chakra and trisula. Above the middle floor windows the Western-style coat of arms of Siam is used. On the semicircle pediment at the central hall there is also a portrait of King Rama V. The incongruous makeup between the western lower half and Thai roof has been compared with a Farong lady clothed in Victorian costume while wearing a Thai crown. The symbolism of this juxtaposition is the emphasis of the superiority of Thai architecture over those of the West. This stylistic innovation was more than an artistic coincidence, as it was supposed to convey a significant political message of Siamese resistance over Western imperialism, both of sovereignty and style. From another perspective, the building itself epitomizes the internal political struggle between the ideas of westernization and modernity against those of the traditional ruling elites. Within the interior, the upper and middle floors are state floors. They are in turn divided into several reception rooms, throne rooms and galleries complete with royal portraits of every Chakri monarchs and their consorts. More specifically, to the east gallery are Buddhist images and other religious images, while to the west are reception rooms for state guests and other foreign dignitaries. In other parts of the throne hall there are also libraries and rooms where the ashes of kings and their queens are housed. Many of the European-made chandeliers inside the hall initially belonged to Chow Phra Sisarawangs. However, they proved too big for his own residence and he eventually gave them to King Chulalongkorn as gifts. The throne hall was also the first structure in Thailand in which electricity was installed, at the insistence of Prince Devavong's Vajrapakha. The lower floor or ground floor is reserved for servants and the royal guards. Currently there is a museum displaying old weapons. Inside the main hall, situated at the very center of the Chakri Maha Prasat Hall, is the Buddha throne, a chair on a raised platform. The throne is flanked by two 7-tiered umbrellas, while the throne itself is topped by a royal 9-tiered umbrella. Behind the throne is a tapestry depicting a fiery intertwined chakra and trisula or the chakri, the emblem of the dynasty. The throne has been used by the king during important state occasions, such as the welcoming or accrediting of foreign diplomats and missions. The room itself has also been used by King Rama IX to welcome foreign dignitaries and heads of state, such as Queen Elizabeth II, President Bill Clinton and Pope John Paul II. Recently the king welcomed over 21 world leaders inside the room during the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation held in Bangkok in 2003. The wall of the throne room is decorated with 4 paintings, depicting important scenes in the history of Thai foreign relations. On the east wall hang 2 paintings called Queen Victoria receiving King Mongkut's ambassador and King Louis XIV receiving the ambassador of King Narai of Thai in the Hall of Mirrors at Versailles. On the west hangs King Mongkut receiving British envoy Sir John Bowring and Napoleon III receiving the Siamese ambassadors at Fontainebleau. Frothy Naengmyeon Sathan Boramad. The Frothy Naengmyeon Sathan Boramad is situated behind the Chakri Maha Prasat Hall to the east side and was built as a separate wing in 1869. The hall encompasses the original area where King Rama V was born and had lived as a child. Previously King Rama I had the area set aside as a small mango tree garden. Currently the hall is set out as a small banqueting and reception venue. Frothinang Simuthi Thevaraj Upabat. The Frothinang Simuthi Thevaraj Upabat is situated on the opposite side of the Moon Santhan Boramad Hall to the west of the Chakri Maha Prasat Hall. The wing was also built in 1868. The hall is divided into several state rooms. For use by the king, there is a reception room and a council room. It was in this hall on the 12th of July 1874 that King Rama V stated to his ministers his intention to abolish slavery in Siam. Frothinang Boram Ratchasthit Maharan. The Frothinang Boram Ratchasthit Maharan is a massive square-shaped structure at the very back of the Chakri Maha Prasat group. Formerly the Damrong Soradanonrong Hall and the Niphatpong Thawinahit Hall. The 2 halls were also built by King Rama V as a banqueting hall to host foreign guests and dignitaries. By the reign of King Rama IX the building was so run down that the king ordered it to be demolished. Construction of a new hall began in 1996, but was interrupted by the 1997 Asian financial crisis. Construction was eventually resumed on April 1, 2004. The new throne hall was built on a raised platform and is composed of several interconnected buildings forming 2 internal courtyards. These rooms function as a new banqueting hall and is used for important state functions. On 13 June 2006 the hall welcomed the royal representatives of 25 monarchies worldwide for the celebration of King Rama IX's 60th anniversary on the throne. This included 12 ruling monarchs, 8 royal consorts and 7 crown princes. From Maha Prasat Group equals. The Maha Prasat Group is situated on the westernmost part of the middle court. The main buildings within this area dates from the reign of King Rama I and contains some of the oldest existing edifice within the Grand Palace. The entire throne hall group is contained within a walled and paved courtyard. Similarly to the other 2 groups, the Maha Prasat buildings were built, embellished and refurbished over successive reigns. The building formed a single axis from north to south, with the public throne hall to the front and residential halls behind. Surrounding them are lesser functional halls and pavilion for use by the king and his court. Initially after the construction of the Grand Palace, King Rama I ordered that on this location a copy of the Frothinang Sanfat Maha Prasat should be built. The ancient throne hall was once located at the old palace in Ayutthaya, which had been destroyed 15 years earlier. This new throne hall was given the name Frothy Naengmyeon Pisek Maha Prasat. Construction began in 1782 and was finished in 1784. This was the hall where King Rama I celebrated his full coronation ceremony. However, in 1789 the entire hall was struck by lightning and burned to the ground. In its place King Rama I ordered the construction of a new hall, however under a different design and name. As a result of this disaster King Rama I predicted that the Chakri Dynasty would last only 150 years from its foundation. This prophecy was recorded in a diary of a princess of the first reign. After reading it many years later, King Rama V remarked that 150 years was too short and that the princess must have inadvertently dropped a naught. This prophecy was again present in the minds of many people, when only 3 months after the dynasty's 150th anniversary celebrations the Siamese Revolution of 1932 was carried out. The revolution replaced the absolute monarchy of the Chakri monarchs with a constitutional monarchy with Siam's first constitution. The ceremonial and residential part was divided between 2 new halls, the Dusit Maha Prasat and the Femen Rataya. Ever since then no coronations were held inside the hall. Upon the king's death, the hall was used for his official lying in state. It has since become a custom that the remains of kings, queens and other high-ranking members of the royal family are to be placed with the hall for an official mourning period. The entrance to this building group is through one of the 3 gates at the northern end of the wall. These gates are decorated with Chinese porcelain in floral patterns. Only the Dusit Maha Prasat throne hall is open to the public. Frothy Dusit Maha Prasat. The Frothy Dusit Maha Prasat dominates the Maha Prasat group. The throne hall was built on a symmetrical cruciform plan, the roof is topped with a tall gilded spire. The hall is considered an ideal archetype of Thai traditional architecture. Every aspect of the exterior decoration of the throne hall is imbued with symbolism. The hall is built in the shape of a tall mountain to represent Mount Meru, the mythological center of the universe. The spire can be divided into 3 sections. The lower section, which is the base, is formed of 7 superimposed layers, each layer representing a level of heaven in accordance with the Triathon Buddhist cosmology. The middle section is in the shape of a bell. However, the roundness has been flattened to create a 4-sided shape. This represents the stupa in which the Buddha's ashes have been interred. The top section is similar to the top of Chedis, depicting a tapered lotus bud or the crystal dewdrop signifying the escape from the sword to the first Florinzara or cycle of rebirths. The spire is supported by Garudas on its 4 sides. As well as being the symbol of kingship, the Garuda represents the mythical creatures of the Himavanta forest surrounding Mount Meru. The pediments are decorated with the figure of Narayana riding on the back of a Garuda. This figure symbolizes kingship and the king's association with a Hindu deity. According to legend, Narayana descended from heaven in human form to help mankind by alleviating them from suffering. Thus the deity represents all the ideal qualities in a king. The throne hall stands on a high base with convex and concave moldings. The bottom layer, according to Thai beliefs, resembles a lion's foot. The lion is a symbol of the Buddha's family and alludes to the Buddha's own royal heritage. The most unusual feature of the throne hall is the small porch, projecting out at the front of the building. Under this porch stands the Bizabok Mala throne, whose spire echoes that of the larger building itself. The high base of the throne is surrounded by praying deities. During the reign of King Rama I, the throne was used when the king appeared before his vassal states. Later it was used for certain ceremonies. The 2 doors to the hall are situated at the sides of the throne. The interior walls of the throne hall are painted with a lotus bud design arranged in a geometric pattern. Within the lotus buds are seated praying deities, a common Thai motif often associated with holy places. The ceiling, which has a coffered octagonal-shaped section directly below the spire, is decorated with glass mosaic stars. This reinforces the impression of being in a heavenly abode. The interior panel of the door and window shutters depicted standing deities facing each other holding weapons as guards for the king. The thickness of the walls allow further spaces between the shutters and the wall to be decorated. These are decorated with murals depicting trees in Chinese style. The two arms of the cruciform plan contains different thrones for use in different royal functions. These included the mother-of-pearl throne, which stands almost at the center of the hall between the intersecting points of the four arms. The square-shaped throne is entirely inlaid with mother-of-pearl, dating from the reign of King Rama. It was saved from the Amaranthara Pisek Maha Prasat, when the throne hall burned down in 1789. The throne is topped by the royal nine-tiered umbrella. To the eastern transept is the mother-of-pearl bed, which was made to match the mother-of-pearl throne. The bed was once the king's personal bed and was kept inside the Frothy Femen Rataya. However, once it was no longer used, it was transferred to the Dusit Maha Prasat throne hall. The bed is in the form of a high platform with many layers, and small steps leading to the top. When royal ceremonies are carried out within the throne hall, members of the royal family take their seat in the southern transept, while government officials sit to the north, Buddhist monks to the east. The funeral urn is to the west. During such times the throne and bed were used as altars for Buddha images. Behind the mother-of-pearl throne is the Frabankan Bizabok Mala throne. This half-throne protrudes from the southern wall of the throne hall and opens like a window into the hall. The style of the throne is similar to Bizabok Mala throne on the porch outside. The throne was built during the reign of King Rama IV, in order for the palace women to attend important ceremonies through the window but behind a screen, separating them from men arriving from the outside. Frothy Femen Rataya. The Frothy Femen Rataya is located directly behind the Dusit Maha Prasat throne hall. The Femen Rataya throne hall is a residential palace and was built for King Rama I as the main royal apartment. Over time the residential use of the palace declined and was eventually ended. Now the hall is only used as a ceremonial venue. The throne hall was built in the traditional Thai style of a rectangular shape. The east, west and south sides of the hall are surrounded by a colonnade of columns on the outside. Surrounding the hall are two gardens. During the reign of King Rama VI it was used as a meeting hall for members of the royal family and other familial functions. The hall also provided a venue for the investiture ceremonies where individuals are awarded with state orders and decorations by a member of the royal family. Now the hall is only used, in conjunction with the Dusit Maha Prasat, as the main venue for state funerals. Frothinang Aphorn Vimok Prasat. The Frothinang Aphorn Vimok Prasat is an open pavilion, built on a platform on the east wall of the Maha Prasat group. The pavilion was built by King Rama IV as a robing pavilion for the king to change his regalia when entering the Maha Prasat premises. The pavilion was also used as the king's royal palakin mounting platform. The pavilion is considered the epitome of the finest qualities of Thai traditional architecture in proportion, style and detail. A smaller replica of the pavilion was exhibited at the Brussels World Fair in 1958. The pavilion is built on a cruciform layout with the northern and southern ends being longer. The roof is topped with a spire of 5 tiers, making it a prasat rather than a Maha Prasat. The spire is supported by swans as opposed to the traditional Garudas. The eastern pediment depicts the Hindu god Shiva standing on a plinth with one foot raised, holding a sword in his left hand and right hand raised to a blessing. The columns of the pavilion are decorated with gold and silver glass mosaic in a floral pattern. The capital of these columns take the form of long lotus petals. Frothinang Rajakaranaya Safa. The Frothinang Rajakaranaya Safa is located on the southern end of the eastern wall. The closed rectangular building was built as a council chamber for use by the king and his ministers. In 1897, on his first trip to Europe, King Rama V installed Queen Savabha Bongsari as regent, and she presided over Privy Council meetings here. This tradition was repeated in 1956 when Queen Sirikit, as regent, presided over the Privy Council while King Rama IX briefly entered the Sangha as a monk. Occasionally the building is still used by the king for private audiences. The peculiar characteristic of this building was the projecting pediments over the roof line. This feature was common during the Ayutthaya Thai period. Ho Pluang Kruang. The Ho Pluang Kruang is a closed pavilion, situated on the western wall of the Maha Prasat group. The pavilion was built by King Rama VI as a robing room. The building is a two-story Thai-style rectangular-shaped hall with a walkway leading from the top floor towards the Dusit Maha Prasat throne hall. Mount Kailasa. The miniature model of Mount Kailasa, the mythical abode of Shiva, was built during the reign of King Rama IV. The miniature mountain was used as a setting for an important ceremony called the Royal Tantra ceremony. This ancient rite of passage would be performed for the royal prince and princess around the age of 13. The ceremony, sometimes lasting 7 days of festivities, involves a purifying bath and the cutting of the traditional top-knot hair of the royal child. The latter act was done by the king himself. The hair is later thrown into the Chao Phraya River as an offering. For this purpose there is a miniature palace on the summit for the ceremony to take place. The lower part of the mountain is populated with stone sculptures of miniature mythical animals of the Himavanta forest. The mount is situated behind the walkway between the Dusit Maha Prasat throne hall and Ho Pleang Kruing. This area is considered part of the inner court and is not open to the public. Sawai Garden equals. The Sawai Garden is situated to the easternmost part of the middle court and is considered separate from the other state buildings and throne halls. The garden has been in its present form since King Rama V, and contains both royal residences and religious buildings. Throughout the years several structures were built and demolished by various kings. The garden was first created at the behest of King Rama I as a private retreat called the Suan Ko or Crystal Garden. The name was changed by Rama II to Suan Khwa or Right Garden, who also embellished the garden and transformed it into a pleasure garden for the inhabitants of the inner court. The greatest change to the area occurred during the reign of King Rama IV, when the entire garden was turned into a new residential palace. This palace was composed of several interconnected buildings of various styles and sizes for the king's use. This buildings complex was named the Phraabinawas Niwet. The building group are on an east-to-west axis, with reception halls to the east and residential halls in the west. These buildings were built in a combination of Thai and Western styles. The principal building of the Phraabinawas Niwet group was the Phrathinang Anantasamorkham. This European-style grand audience chamber was used by the king to receive various foreign missions. Other buildings included King Rama IV's primary residential hall, observatory and banqueting hall. By the reign of King Rama V the Phraabinawas Niwet building group became so dilapidated that most were eventually demolished. The names of some of the halls were later assumed by new royal buildings. King Rama V had the area turned once more into a private garden for use by the inner court and also gave the garden its present name. The new garden contained some of the old buildings as well as new additions, such as a small lawn in the southwestern corner called the Suan Tao or Turtle Garden. The layout of the Sawai Garden remained mostly unchanged until the present day. Phrathinang Femen. The Phrathinang Femen is the largest structure within the Sawai Garden. It is located at the northernmost end. The two-story Neo-Renaissance residence was constructed during the reign of King Rama V from 1897 to 1903. The new palace was built over the site of an old armory, after King Rama V had it demolished. The new palace was intended as a gift to the first Crown Prince of Siam, Prince Maha Vajiralongkorn. It was originally named Phrathinang Phanamad Kamroon. However, before the construction was finished the prince died of typhoid at the age of 16. Once completed the palace was handed to the next heir, Crown Prince Maha Vajiralongkorn, who ascended the throne in 1910 as Rama VI. He later gave the palace its present name. Under the supervision of foreign architects, namely the German C. Sandreczki, the Femen throne hall became the most modern building within the Grand Palace. It was also the first to be designed to accommodate carriages and motor cars. The exterior walls are embellished with pilasters and elaborate plaster designs. The triangular and semi-circular pediments are decorated with stuccoed floral motifs. The palace's distinctive mansard roof is covered in dark grey slate tiles. On the four-section aid of the building, the main and central pediment show the emblem of the Crown Prince. Even though the architectural style and exterior decoration of the building is entirely Western, the interior decorations is entirely Thai. The central hall, situated under a dome, is decorated with murals of the god Indra, Varuna, Agni and Yama, all depicted in Thai style. Below them are Thai inscriptions composed by King Rama VI himself. After his accession to the throne, King Rama VI occasionally stayed at the palace. King Rama VII stayed at the palace for a few nights before his coronation in 1925, while King Ananda Mayadol made the palace his main place of residence upon his return to Thailand from Switzerland in December 1945. He lived in this palace with his younger brother Prince Bhumibol Adulyadej and his mother Princess Sri Sangwan. On the morning of June 9, 1946, the palace bore witness to his mysterious and unexplained death by gunshot. King Rama IX later refurbished the palace and added an extra wing extending south. Currently the palace is not open to the public, and serves as the official guest house for visiting heads of state and their entourage. To the southeast of the Femen throne hall, there are also two guest houses for use by the entourage of state visitors. Frothy Naengmyeon Prasat. The Frothy Naengmyeon Prasat is a small pavilion built on the wall between the Sawai Garden and the Maha buildings. The pavilion has a mandap-style roof and a gilded spire, decorated in glass mosaic. The pavilion was built by King Rama IV as a monument to his father King Rama II. After its completion, the ashes of King Rama II was moved and was housed in the pavilion. After the death of King Rama IV, the ashes was moved back to the Hofra Naengmyeon Buddha Image Hall. Currently the pavilion houses several Buddha images. Frothy Naengmyeon Maha Prasat. The Frothy Naengmyeon Maha Prasat is located on the southern eastern end of the Sawai Garden. The Sawai Maha Prasat is a Thai-style edifice with a mandap-style spire of 7 tiers. Built during the reign of King Rama V in 1878 to house the metal statues of his 4 predecessors, which were cast in 1869. The hall was to be used as a royal pantheon, where the lives of previous monarchs were to be commemorated and worshipped. Later King Rama VI had the statues removed and rehoused at the Prasat Frothy Dawn in the Temple of the Emerald Buddha compound, where they would be more accessible to the public. On April 6, 1918, the first ceremony of worship was inaugurated. This ceremony continues to be performed annually. Since the removal of the statues, the Sawai Maha Prasat has been left vacant. Frothy Naengmyeon. The Frothy Naengmyeon is a small open pavilion made of wood, built by King Rama VI. The pavilion is situated on the northern edge of the lawn south of the Femen Palace. The pavilion is decorated with a flame motif in gilded black lacquer. The gables bear the insignia of King Rama VI. The king used the pavilion as a place of rest and as a seat during garden parties. For Buddha Ratanasorthan. The Buddha Ratanasorthan is a abosot, situated at the very center of the Sawai Garden. The religious building is a shrine to a Buddha image called the Buddha Butsuyarat Chakraphat Pimlom Maniame, which was brought from Champasak in Laos. The abosot was built for this purpose by King Rama IV. The abosot is built of grey stone and has a 2-tier green title roof. At the front there is a portico of pillars. Running around the outside of the abosot is an open pillared gallery. Religious ceremonies have been performed here in the past. Inner Court. The Inner Court, or the Kufra Raja than Chan Nai, referred to simply as Kang Nai, occupies the southernmost part of the Grand Palace complex. This area is reserved exclusively for use by the king and his harem of queens and consorts. These women were often called forbidden women or Nangham by the general populace. Other inhabitants of the court were the king's children and a multitude of ladies-in-waiting and servants. The king's royal consorts were drawn from the ranks of the Siamese, royalty and nobility. Usually there were also the daughters of rulers of tributary states. Royal polygamy ended in practice during the reign of King Rama VI, who refused to keep a polygamous household. It was ended officially by King Rama VII in the early 20th century, when he outlawed the practice for all and took only one consort, Queen Rampai Bani. By this time the inhabitants of the court had dwindled to only a few and finally disappeared within a few decades afterwards. Historically, the Inner Court was a town complete within itself, divided by narrow streets and lawns. It had its own shops, government, schools, warehouses, laws and law courts, all exclusively controlled by women for the royal women. Men on special repair work and doctors were admitted only under the watchful eyes of its female guards. The king's sons were permitted to live inside until they reached puberty. After their tantra ceremonies they were sent outside the palace for further education. There are currently no inhabitants within the inner court and the buildings within are not used for any purpose. Nevertheless, the entire court is closed to the public. The population of the inner court varied over different periods, but by all accounts it was large. Each queen consort had her own household of around 200 to 300 women. Her various ladies-in-waiting were usually recruited from noble families. Others were minor princesses who would also have a retinue of servants. Each minor wife or consort had a fairly large household. This would increase significantly if she gave birth to the king's child, as she would be elevated to the rank of consort mother. Each royal lady had a separate establishment, the size of which was in proportion to her rank and status in accordance with palace law. Altogether the population of the inner court numbered nearly 3,000 inhabitants. The inner court was once populated by small low-lying structures surrounded by gardens, lawns and ponds. Over the course of the late 19th century new residential houses were constructed in this space, resulting in overcrowded conditions. Most of the buildings that remain were constructed during the reign of King Rama V in Western styles, mostly Italianate. The residences vary in size and are divided into three categories. Small royal villas or frathamnik, villas or thamnik and houses or ruan. Each was distributed to the inhabitants in accordance with their rank and stature. The court is surrounded and separated from the rest of the Grand Palace by a second set of walls within, parallel to those that ring around the palace as a whole. These walls are punctuated by a set of gates that connects the inner courts to the outside and to each other. The entrance through these gates was strictly monitored. The three main building groups in the middle court are built so that the residential halls of each are situated to the south and straddled the boundary between the middle and inner court. Thus these residential spaces of the king became the focal point of palace life and the lives of the palace women on the inside. Immediately behind these residential halls are the large royal villas of high-ranking consorts such as Queen Sukumala Marasri and Queen Savang Surrounding them are smaller villas belonging to other consorts such as those belonging to Princess Consort Dara Razmi. Finally at the lower end are the row houses or taoteng for the middle and low-ranking consorts. These residences also functioned as a de facto secondary layer of surveillance, at the very edges of the inner court. The inner court was governed by a series of laws known as the palace laws. Some of the laws dated back to the times of the Kingdom of Ayutthaya. Most of them deal with the hierarchy and status of the women, while others deal with their behavior and conduct. The order and discipline of the inhabitants were enforced by a regiment of all-female guards. These guards were described by Prince Chula Chakrabongs as tough-looking Amazons. The head of this body was known as the Otibidi Finai, the directress of the inside. Under her command were various officials. These officials had specific responsibilities concerning every facet of life within the inner court. These responsibilities included duties concerning discipline and jails, the maintenance of Buddhist images, the guarding of gates, the inner treasury and expenditure. One of their main duties was to accompany men, once they were admitted into the area, and to remain with them until they left. They controlled the traffic of the court and were drilled like regular soldiers. When any person of importance passed along the streets they ran ahead and cleared the way for them. At night they patrolled the streets with lamps or torches. Misbehavior or indiscretion on behalf of the wives was punishable by death, for the women and the man. The last such punishment was met out in 1859 to a young nobleman and a minor wife, who were having an affair. Only the children of the king could be born inside the inner court. Every detail of the birth of the royal child was recorded, including the time of birth, which was to be used later by court astrologers to cast his or her horoscope. Ceremonies concerning the birth and the rites of passage of the child was performed within the walls of the inner court. The birth of a royal child was first announced by a succession of women who proclaimed the news along the inner court streets. There were two waiting orchestras, one on the inside made of women and one on the outside of men, who would then carry out the official proclamation with conch shell fanfares. If the child was a prince, the gong of victory was to be struck 3 times. The children would live with their respective mothers and be educated in special schools within the court. Although the women of the inside could never have the same level of freedom to those on the outside, life inside the inner court was not disagreeable, as life was easier than the outside and most necessities were provided for. The women usually entered the palace as girls and remained inside for the rest of their lives. As girls, they would be assigned certain duties as pages. As they grew older and became wives and mothers, they would have a household to look after. During the reign of King Rama IV, the women of the palace were for the first time allowed to leave. However, they were required to obtain permission from the directoress first and were strictly chaperoned. Dr. Malcolm A. Smith, physician to Queen Savabha Bongsari from 1914 to 1919, wrote that, "There is no evidence to show that they longed for freedom or were unhappy in their surroundings." Even Mrs. Leon Owens, fanatical opponent of polygamy that she was, does not tell us that. Indeed, Anna Leon Owens' book The English Governess at the Siamese Court, published in 1873, was set inside the inner court. Defensive walls. The castellated walls of the Grand Palace were constructed during the reign of King Rama I in 1782. Later, during the reign of King Rama II, the Grand Palace and its walls were extended towards the south. Cannon emplacements were replaced with guard houses and were given rhyming names. The northern wall measures 410 meters, the east 510 meters, the south 360 meters and the west 630 meters, a total of 1,910 meters. There are 12 gates in the outer walls. Inside the palace, there were over 22 gates and a labyrinth of inner walls. However, some of these has already been demolished. Around the outer walls there are also 17 small forts. On the eastern wall, facing Sanamkai Road, there are 2 throne halls. Phrathinangchai Shumpol The Phrathinangchai Shumpol is located on the north of the eastern wall, opposite the Temple of the Emerald Buddha. The small rectangular pavilion was built on the top of the wall of the palace. The pavilion has a roof of 2 tiers and is covered with tiles. The exterior is decorated with black lacquer and glass mosaic. The pavilion was built by King Rama IV as a viewing platform, where he could observe royal and religious processions going by along the Sanamkai Road. The pavilion was also used for a time as the main shrine of the Phra Siam Thavathiraj figure, before it was moved to its current shrine in the Phazan Thaksin Hall. Phrathinang Sathai Prasat Situated on the southeastern wall of the Grand Palace is the Phrathinang Sathai Prasat. The hall sits between the Deva Phatak and Sakti Chasat gates on the eastern wall. It was first built by King Rama I in imitation of the Phrathinang Chakrangat Phayajawant on the walls of the royal palace in Ayutthaya. Originally called the Plupla Sung or High Pavilion, it was made entirely of wood and was an open-air structure. During the reign of King Rama III, a new structure was built out of brick and mortar. This new structure was renamed Phrathinang Suthasolan. The hall is used by the king to give audiences to the public and view military parades. The new structure consists of 2 stories, the lower in Western style and the top level in Thai design. The central pavilion has a wooden balcony, which is used by the king and royal family for the granting public audiences. The roof over the central pavilion is topped by a 5-tier prasat in mandap style, decorated in glass mosaic. The hall's wings lying from the north and south are much longer. On the top level, each has 9 large windows along the exterior. Later in the reign of King Rama V, the entire structure was refurbished and finally given its present name. Gates. The Grand Palace has 12 gates, 3 along each of the 4 walls. These massive gates are built of brick and mortar and are topped with a prang-style spire. These gates are all painted in white, with gigantic red doors. Each of these outer gates were given rhyming names, starting from the northwest in a clockwise direction around. North Wall, Femen Daves, Wisit Chasri, Manino Parrot. East Wall, Svasti Safair, Deva Phatak, Sakti Chasit. South Wall, Viet Banjong, Ainonka Raksa, Phatak Bovorn. West Wall, Suthorn Thesa, Devafiram, Udam Siddharak. Forts. Along the walls of the Grand Palace there are 17 forts. Originally there were only 10, with later additions made. These small structures are usually small battlements with cannon placements and watchtower. The forts were also given rhyming names. North Wall, Inthorn Rangsan, Khan Kuenfit, Page Dusakorn. East Wall, Sankanjoy Wing, Sinkorn Khan, Khan Iang Yut, Rithi Rukramrun, Anandakiri, Mani Prakan. South Wall, Pizan Sima, Pupher Suthot. West Wall, Santha Banput, Solo Sila, Maha Santha Loa, Thasana Nikorn. Museum of the Emerald Buddha Temple. The Museum of the Emerald Buddha Temple, despite its name, is the main artifacts repository of both the Grand Palace and Temple of the Emerald Buddha complex. The museum is located between the outer and middle court and sits opposite the Phrathinang Maha Prasat group. A building was constructed on the present location in 1857 during the reign of King Rama IV as the Royal Mint. King Rama V ordered the mint to be enlarged, but not long after this the building was destroyed by fire and needed to be rebuilt. The two-storied structure is rectangular in plan. The portico has 4 Ionic columns with fluted stems and cabbage leaf capitals. The front gables of the building have Renaissance-style plaster molding. The lower part of the exterior walls are made of plastered brick. The upper windows have semicircular French windows, with pilasters on both sides. In 1902 a new Royal Mint Department was constructed outside the palace's walls and the old Mint building was left vacant. The building was then first converted for use as a Royal Guards barracks and later as a Royal Guards Officers Club. In 1982, on the bicentennial anniversary year of the founding of Bangkok and the building of the Grand Palace, the building was selected as the site of a new museum. It was established at the instigation of Princess Maha Chakri Sirindhorn to hold certain architectural elements, which had to be replaced. Various artifacts and Buddha images that were donated to the Grand Palace by the general public. The ground floor of the museum displays a varied selection of artifacts. These included certain architectural elements, which were removed from various buildings within the Grand Palace during different renovations, as well as with the stone Buddha images and Chinese statues. They included many figures from Thai literature, the Ramakin, such as Supanmacha and Hanuman. The stone figures date from the reign of King Rama III, and would later move to the museum to prevent damage. In the central hall are the bones of white elephants. These elephants were not actually white but have certain special characteristics such as pinkish coloring and cream eyes. The white elephant was an important symbol of kingship. The more the monarch possessed the greater was his prestige. This belief and veneration of the animal is common to many other Southeast Asian cultures. The upper floor rooms display more artistic and precious objects. In the main hall are 2 architectural models of the Grand Palace, the first representing the Grand Palace during the reign of King Rama I, and another in the reign of King Rama V. Behind these are numerous Buddha images and commemorative coins. In the doorway leading to the main hall is a small mother-of-pearl seating platform known as Phrathain Song Sabai, which was once located in the Phrathinang Femen Rataya throne hall. The platform was used for informal audiences and dates from the time of King Rama I. At the end of the main hall stands the Phrathain Manang Sila throne, which is believed to date to the Sukhothai kingdom and was brought back to Bangkok, from Sukhothai, by King Rama IV, when he was still a monk. Against the walls on either side of the hall are 4 different Buddha images of Javanese style. They were purchased by King Rama V. The room to the right of the Manang Sila throne displays the various seasonal robes of the Emerald Buddha. To the left of the main hall is a lacquerware screen depicting the crowning of Shiva, king of the gods. The screen was formerly kept in the Phrathinang Amaranthara Pisek Maha Prasat. It was saved from the fire apparently by the hands of King Rama I himself. The rest of the upper floor displays various objets d'art squared art and more Buddha images. See also: Associated, Wat Phra Ko, Emerald Buddha. Other royal palaces in Bangkok: Dusit Palace, main royal residence from around 1899 to 1950, Chitralada Royal Villa, main Bangkok residence of the current monarch since 1950, Anantasamorkham Throne Hall, Amphoon Sathan Throne Hall, Abhisek Dusit Throne Hall, Vimang Palace. Phayaltai Palace, royal residence from around 1909 to 1910, related subjects, Ratanakosin Kingdom, Chakri Dynasty, Monarchy of Thailand, Thai art, architecture of Thailand. References, citations. Bibliography. External links, official website, Thai Royal Palaces Virtual Tour, Bureau of the Royal Household, Ministry of Defence's website on the Grand Palace, the Grand Palace on Bangkok for visitors, panoramic view of the Grand Palace,